I started this project was trying to find something that meant that happiness wasn't something within your head. That made it lead to the point that makes people think that happiness is like something you achieve by doing something else, or like it's something just within you that makes you happy, or even the fact that makes you sad. So I went around and I asked people to give me an object that they thought that made them happy and an object that they thought that made them sad. What I was trying to accomplish by this was trying to find something that meant that like happiness could be physically in objects that I could like an object could technically like radiate happiness from it, and you latch on to that happiness. It'll make you happy. And I also looked at the counterpart, which would be an object that makes you sad, and if possibly that like if that object is continuously in your life, if that would make you sad. So what I learned from all the interviews that from the people that I took is that a lot of these objects were like really small things and or small things for us, but not small things for others. But they meant a lot. They had like a lot of like just significant portions to them. Some more than others, and some less than others. But in the end, like what it matters is how much it means to that own person.
Hey, I would say that an object that makes me happy is my car because it represents sort of, I guess, the freedom to do whatever, freedom to go anywhere. And I'd say an object that makes me sad is probably an erg because it represents pain and unhappiness.
All right.
Okay, so object that makes me happy is this thing.
Why?
It's a Totoro, and Totoro is made of happiness, and it's squishy, and so I can squish it.
Does it help you sleep at night?
No, I keep it at school, and I sit on it.
Is it like relieving when you're stressed?
Yes, actually.
Okay, that's
It's
good
also
to know.
good for napping. And needles make me sad because they hurt me, and they're pointless, and I don't like them.
What else makes you sad about needles?
They're scary because they can poke a hole in you, and they're dangerous and painful.
All right, thank you.
I'd say my skis that I just got make me happy because I can use them to ski, and skiing pretty much frees my mind of anything bad, and it makes me really happy.
What's something that makes you sad?
Bad food makes me sad because then I'm still hungry, and then the rest of the day sucks.
One thing that makes me happy is a pillow when I know I can sleep. That's always nice. And one thing that makes me sad is an empty refrigerator because then it always makes me hungry when there's nothing to eat.
So the object that I have that makes me happy, a couple things. They're all jewelry related, and one is my wedding ring because it reminds me of getting married. The other is a little charm that was in my daughter's bassinet when I got her from the hospital, so it reminds me of her being born. And then an object that makes me sad is a photo of my niece who died as a little baby, but we keep it in her room, in my daughter's room all the time because they were born in the same few weeks with each other. So I love it, and it makes me happy to have it there in one way, but really sad to see it.
You can go.
Okay. So object makes me happy and sad. It's the same object. And for whatever reason, it's totally crazy. It drives Mr. Clausen a little crazy, but I've carried it with me through like 3 states now. But it is a rock that was found in the back of my mom's car after she died, and it's a big rock. It's a big rock. It's like this big, and for whatever reason, and I have no idea why she had it in her car. It makes absolutely no sense. But for whatever reason, I have carried it with me to grad school and to New York, to LA, back to here. I've used it as a doorstop. I've used it as just like a decorative piece, and it's like not even a fancy rock.
Paperweight?
It's not a paperweight because it's a big rock. So I really have no idea why was in her car, and makes me happy because there's a theory about transitional objects and object relations theory that I really identify with, and it just became this thing that felt like a piece of my mom, and it made me really happy. It just felt good, like it was just something that she had for whatever reason, and I just needed it. And but it makes me sad because it's also a reminder that, you know, I'll never get to ask her why she had a rock in her car, and I'll never, you know, and it just makes me sad because it reminds me of my mom too. But for whatever, like at one point I thought it got left behind somewhere when I was moving at the last move that we had, and I was just like, where's my rock? Where's my rock? And it's like, I don't know. So it's become this staple now. It's like very important thing that I have to have in my life, and it makes me feel good.
Maybe you can pass it on to your daughter.
Maybe I'll give it to Ingrid. Like here's your grandmother.
Instead of a teddy bear, you can put in a curved rock.
It's a big rock. I no idea.
It's your rock, though.
It's my rock. It's a very special rock.
My current automobile makes me sad because I don't fit in it, nor do my children. And so I would be happier if I had a different automobile that fit us both.
What's an object that makes you happy that you have?
Something that makes me happy that I have. I like my iPad mini.
Why is that?
I don't know, it makes it really easy for me to sit down for a couple minutes and relax and look at something different than other things that I'm thinking about all the time.
Go.
I am not sure that this is going to make me happy, but we're moving to a much quieter street with a nice view of the mountains and a big backyard, and this house, which is an object, is something that I'm anticipating is going to make me happier. And there's a cozy wood-burning fireplace and a hot tub.
Oh yeah.
Oh yeah. And then the other part was something that, is that the object that makes me unhappy or would make me unhappy?
Yeah, that'll make you sad, unhappy.
A wheelchair would make me unhappy if I had to use it, but that indirectly means I would have no use for my legs, which is kind of cheating, right?
Yeah, I guess. In the sense. But yeah, that's fine. That works. Anything else? No. Small objects that your baby could choke on.
Oh, our cloth diapers makes me a little unhappy.
Cloth diapers? Ooh.
And all I want to do is save the world and not throw a bunch of diapers into a landfill that's disposable. So we try to use cloth, and they just don't. It's not working. But they're also disgusting.
I think I just might have given you some advice to switch diapers. Got it.
Alright, the object that makes me happy would be Frisbee, because I really like playing Frisbee, and it's something I like to do. And the object that makes me sad is my broken watch, because I always rely on my watch for the time, and when it's broken, I don't know the time ever.
Show me the mark, Josh.
I'm serious, like watch tag here.
Show me the mark.
So yeah, still working on getting a new watch. Right now it's sad because I don't have it.
Go.
So, an object that makes me really happy is this watch, the Batman watch. It makes me really happy because I've always wanted a watch, and I think wristwatches are really cool. My friend stole it from me, so that was nice of him. And an object that makes me sad is my summer vacation home, because we're selling it, and then I've gone there like every summer since I was born, so it's sad.
Some things that were like really interesting was how some of these small objects could truly have such a grand impact. And some things that were kind of astonishing that made me realize all of this is just that we here today wake up knowing that it's like we're gonna be okay. We wake up knowing that we're gonna wake up the next day and the next day after that. Right now in our lives, we have a guaranteed total of like that we're gonna live to the next 10 years. Like, no matter what. That's what I'm estimating myself, and I'm like at least 95% sure, unless there's a freak accident. But all of us in this room right now are going to live 10 more years from now. And that's kind of astonishing because there's people around the world that don't know if they're going to live the next day or maybe the next hour. That's a bit extreme, but to get the point through, that's what I'm trying to make out of this. All this is just truly like, it's just kind of mind-boggling because we live in this society where like stuff that's small and significant just has such a big portion of our lives and can change how you think in one day. We could technically be having the same type of happiness that someone else is experiencing in another part of the world, but they're happy because they have food on their plate. And out of all this, it was kind of like a shocker to my mind because you wouldn't think about that every day. You just keep going on and living. We aren't stressed about not having food on our table. We're stressed about school and homework and possibly work. How maybe a student isn't listening to you and you're trying to get through to him. With all this just making such a big impact in how now I look at things, I truly feel like I understand that happiness can take place in all shapes or sizes. And it doesn't mean that it has to be something that just mental. It could be an object. And don't get me wrong, but the people on the other side of the world that are happy because they have food on their table, they're genuinely happy. Like we're genuinely happy. And there's no difference between that. We're on the same level as they are. Just we know what's going to happen next.